Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Nearly 3 weeks after the gunfire that killed Elias Mora-Ontiveros, the man accused in the homicide has yet to be arraigned. The city of Soap Lake failed to train its new financial workers after heavy staff turnover, and the result was about $840,000 worth of accounting errors. And in sports, the Big Nine Soccer Championship is on the line tonight. Eric Granstrom will have more on that. A 46-year-old Kashmir man died yesterday after he and his companions were tossed from a raft on the fast-flowing Wenatchee River. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says the incident occurred about 4:15 p.m. at Dryden. The raft carrying 7 occupants overturned in the high water flow, and 2 of the rafters swam their companion to shore after noticing he was in distress. Fire and medical crews arrived about 10 minutes after the accident and tried to revive the victim, but he was pronounced dead at 5:18 p.m. At news time, his identity and the exact cause of his death have not yet been disclosed. Rescuers took up positions as far as downstream as Kashmir to look out for survivors, but Sheriff Sergeant Jason Reinfeld said all members of the party were wearing flotation devices and were able to exit the river safely on their own. The Sheriff's Office warned that the water flow in the Wenatchee River is at or near record levels, and rivers and streams are expected to remain hazardous for the next several days. With those record water levels and hazardous river conditions, Wenatchee Valley Fire Department Chief Brian Brett joined us in studio today to talk about river safety and the main points everyone needs to remember when floating area waterways.
3 ways people primarily get in trouble here is they're unfamiliar with the river, they underestimate the power of the water, and underestimate how cold the water may be. No personal flotation devices is the key. I believe every fatality we have is directly attributed to not having a personal flotation device, and then often alcohol is involved as well.
Brett also highlights what area emergency management organizations are doing to prepare for water rescues.
Well, we've partnered with the Chelan County Emergency Management with a Zodiac boat, and we have that boat positioned at the East Wenatchee Fire Station right across to Otobashan Bridge. At the Sunny Slope Fire Station, we have a rescue truck that's outfitted with all water rescue equipment. At our downtown Wenatchee Fire Station, we have another rescue that's equipped with all the rope rescue equipment. Oftentimes, a water rescue will involve an over-the-bank rescue as well because of the slope exceeding 30%, so we have to rig rescue systems. We send this whole package to these incidents, and we've mapped out waypoints for all the known access areas along the river, the most problematic areas where we've received the most 911 calls for. And we deploy the resources to where the incident was reported to get eyes and stage downstream because it's a dynamic incident. Often this will change jurisdictions 3 times in the course of this incident.
Brett adds that the best time to float the area rivers is early August and into September, when water levels have gone down and the water temperature has warmed up. Nearly 3 weeks after the gunfire that killed Elias Mora-Ontiveros, the man accused in the homicide has yet to be arraigned. Defense attorneys for 2 co-defendants of murder suspect Eric Farias Reyes have filed paperwork excluding Douglas County Judge Brian Huber from hearing their cases. Huber is not barred from presiding over Farias's trial, but in court yesterday, the judge said he wasn't comfortable carrying out the arraignment under those conditions. Farias is charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder in the April 17th killing of Mora. Juan Carlos Vasquez Hernandez is charged as an accomplice, and Farias's girlfriend, Sabrina McCubbin, is charged with rendering aid after the fact. The arraignments for all 3 were postponed this week until May 11th, when a different judge or court commissioner will preside. Over $290,000 has been seized by the U.S. Secret Service in an alleged elder fraud scam out of Wenatchee. An online scammer allegedly targeted an elderly couple through WhatsApp and claimed to be a 35-year-old traveling musician, befriending the couple and then persuading them to send more than $20,000 over 2 years. In February, the alleged perpetrator convinced the couple to participate in a real estate investment and persuaded the couple to obtain the cash-out refinance mortgage for their residence, transfer the funds to a title company, and attempted to have the funds sent to the alleged perpetrator's bank account. When one of the victims went to a Wenatchee title company to complete the transaction, the CEO of the title company became suspicious and contacted law enforcement. The forfeited property will be returned to the victim, and the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Washington said no criminal charges have been filed at this time. Chelan County crews were able to remove a log jam near the state park that caused roadway closures yesterday. Water from 25 Mile Creek made roads impassable and caused the closure of South Lakeshore and Shady Pass roads. South Lakeshore Road after milepost 16 is open only to local traffic and will remain that way through the weekend due to forecasted rain. Crews were also able to repair shoulder damage caused by water. The county reminds the public to be prepared for potentially high waters over the weekend, no evacuation routes, and have supplies on hand if rising waters block those routes. The city of Soap Lake failed to train its new financial workers after heavy staff turnover. The result was about $840,000 worth of accounting errors across the city's 2018 financial statements. The Washington State Auditor says the problem comes down largely to lack of training for new accounting staff after multiple accounting managers left office and were replaced. The city acknowledged the missteps and says it's now set aside a budget to make sure its current and future workers have the appropriate know-how. There's good and bad news about the snowpack that contributes to eastern Washington's water supply. The State Department of Ecology says the cold temperatures and heavier than average precipitation through April kept snowpack statewide at 118% of normal. But the bad news is, in the Lake Chelan watershed, snowpack ended the month at roughly 87% of normal, and precipitation throughout the state was also below average. Watersheds including the Okanagan, Methow, and Chelan are still recovering from previous dry spells, and thirsty soil is likely to soak up a lot of snowmelt before it reaches our rivers. This summer is projected to feature near normal precipitation, but above normal temperatures. Dr. Jean Sharratt, a longtime educator and community advocate, was awarded the Spirit of Ernst and Susan Wagner Award at the All-Service and Community Luncheon on Wednesday. The award began in 2019 to honor the founders of the Apple Blossom Festival and honors individuals and organizations that have given back to the community to make it a better place to live. Sharratt served as superintendent of the North Central Educational Service District and helped establish community institutions like the Festival of Trees, the Wenatchee Technology Center, and the Mariachi Northwest Festival. Most recently, he launched the Kindness Counts North Central Washington campaign with the goal to count 2,023 acts of kindness in the area. Sharratt will ride in the Stamilt Grand Parade tomorrow. Coming up next, somebody has to clean up after all those horses in the Apple Blossom Grand Parade, and this year, Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary took up the burden. Much cooler and sometimes wet weather will stick around through this weekend and into the first part of next week. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us. Somebody has to clean up after all those horses in the Apple Blossom Grand Parade, and this year, Wenatchee Sunrise Rotary took up the burden. But for the second year in a row, they're also making it fun and potentially profitable with an innovative idea for a raffle. In tonight's feature story, we caught up with Kathleen McNulty, co-chair of the event they call Road Apple Roulette.
Road Apple Roulette is a very unique way to raise money for local nonprofits and community causes. We are allowing people to wager and raffle where the horses will poop in the Apple Blossom Parade, which they always do. We know that. We give away a grand prize of $10,000. It's big money. We also give away 4 $500 prizes. $5 a ticket. Once we have given out the money to the winners, the rest of the money goes to charitable causes in the community, such as the Women's Resource Center, Grace House, Bruce House, the Humane Society. There's a variety, Alethea Riding Center, that we support in the community. You cannot pick a certain horse. You pick a poop zone. You have a choice of 5 poop zones. We find out at the very beginning of the parade which horse group we're looking for. Last year was Ellensburg Rodeo. As they come through the poop zones, wherever the first one lands, that's the $10,000 zone. Everyone in that zone, there's a raffle ticket pulled for $10,000. All the other zones are $500. We announce everything 3 o'clock Saturday on the stage at Memorial Park. Like most good ideas, we borrowed it from someone else. A Rotary Club in Haley, Idaho had something similar. That's where we got it from originally. All of it is going to take place on Orondo Avenue, right here behind us, behind the park. The 5 poop zones will be marked there in multicolored duct tape. Everybody can see it. That's where all the action is, that part of the parade. We have to call it when we see it. We'll all be wearing our Road Apple Wrangler t-shirts, and we'll all be monitoring for wherever the poop drops, and we've got our cameras out to record it and video and to make sure it's all above board. We are governed by the Gambling Commission. There is an amount of paperwork that goes along with that. They're attempting, of course, to protect the public and make sure that we are returning all the investment back to the community. They do care about that, and that we're giving out the prize money. We are going to sell all the way through the start of the parade. You will find us on Orondo Avenue, parade day from 9 to 11 a.m., selling tickets right from out of our pockets to the last minute purchasers. That will cut off right at 11 o'clock on Saturday. I think the most important thing is come out, support your community. $5 a ticket, maybe you're the big winner, but even if you aren't, you're supporting the activities in your community for nonprofits.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great Friday. Boy, what a difference a day makes as far as weather. 82 yesterday, high today only about 60 degrees, so a big drop in those temperatures. We saw plenty of cloud cover as well, but not as much rain as we thought yesterday that we would see today. Just nothing hardly this morning around Wenatchee. Beautiful shot of Turtle Rock from our PTZ camera at Orondo. 60 degrees, our high temperature today, 9 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. 69 is now our normal high. Record high 91 degrees, and that was set in 1966. 52 this morning, 46 is normal, and our record low temperature was set in 1968 at 32 degrees. We only picked up 4/100ths of an inch of rain. We thought there'd be more than that. That gets us to 2.74 for the year, and we're still almost or a little bit over 4/10ths of an inch below where we should be for this time of year. 5:38, our sun came up this morning and sets for us tonight at 8:18. Let's take a look now at your temperatures as we get you into tomorrow. And of course, it's the Stamilk Growers Grand Parade for the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. Bring a jacket, that's for sure. The parade starts at 11 a.m. These are afternoon highs, mid-60s for the Columbia Basin, 63 in Wenatchee. But keep in mind, that'll be later in the afternoon. So for the parade, we're probably going to be in the 50s. So bring some warm clothes as you head to the parade tomorrow. 61 in Leavenworth and 61s as well for Eniat and Chelan tomorrow. Taking a look at what we can expect tonight, or you should say the big picture. Let's take a look at that first. 3 storm systems set to move in on us. Here's the first one that will come in probably about Sunday or so, Monday and then Tuesday, and then high pressure builds in by midweek next week, and that'll get us back into the 70s. But first, it's going to be cool, a little breezy overnight tonight, cloudy skies. We're still going to stick with about a 40% chance of rain. Low temperatures tonight, much cooler into those upper 40s. Still some rain showers around Washington. And then for the Grand Parade tomorrow, we just talked about it. Going to want to bring a jacket. We're going to see a little bit of a breeze tomorrow as well. That'll make it feel a little cool. High temperatures in the low 60s. Getting you into the end of the weekend at our final day of apple blossom on Sunday. Mostly cloudy skies. We will still have about a 20% chance of rain, and that's because of this area of low pressure that's swinging some clouds up our way. Not a great chance for rain Sunday with highs in the low 60s, but we do have a better chance of the wet stuff as we get into Monday. Here we go, Monday afternoon, and that swath of rain right through the Wenatchee, Moses Lake areas. 30% chance of the wet stuff, and we're going to stay down in those low 60s at least on Monday before the warm-up begins for Tuesday. Mostly cloudy skies. Here's the start of that ridge of high pressure building in. We will see some isolated rain showers on Tuesday. Not a whole lot to worry about. We'll warm up too. Temperatures Tuesday into the mid-60s by Wednesday. This is where the warm-up really begins. Partly cloudy skies. You can see the ridge over us and the Pacific Northwest. We're going to see highs on Wednesday into those low 70s, and even better as we get into the end of the forecast on Thursday. We like those yellow and orange colors. Remember that. Sunny skies all over the west coast for Thursday. We will warm up too with high temperatures then in those mid 70s, and you can see we are beginning to see warmer weather. It looks like moving past that into the next weekend, we could be back into the 80s. Let's take a look now at that 7-day forecast. Overnight tonight, 48 degrees, a little bit breezy tomorrow, and 63, 62s for Sunday and Monday, a 20 to 30% chance of rain both days. Isolated showers for Tuesday and 66, and then a nice warm up on both Wednesday and Thursday, 72 for Wednesday and 76 your high temperature on Thursday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Dallas bounced back from a loss on Tuesday to even its series with Seattle last night, winning Game 2 of their Stanley Cup playoff series 4-2. After a scoreless first period, the Stars jumped out to a 2-goal lead before rookie Ty Cartier got the Kraken on the board, but Dallas was just too much for Seattle last night.
Comes back out. One-timer by Domi, kicked out by Grubauer. What a save off the right pad. One-timer Miller, off the glove of Grubauer. They pounce on it at the side of the net and can't convert. Final seconds of this power play dwindling down. Domi to the middle. Gets the return feed. Domi across. Back to even strength. A shot. Save. Rebound. Score! Ryan Johnston. Couldn't clear. Bjorkstrand knocked it down. Ben there to recover. Cross-ice feed. The Donov around the net. Wrap. Score! Before it shifts to Seattle for Game 3 Sunday. Cartier over the line. Cartier scores! Ty Cartier with the first goal of the night for the Kraken in only his 5th NHL game. That's his 2nd career goal. Sagan down the wall. Here's Johnston with room moving for Eberle. Centering! Oh, Unger on the post! Both kept it out! Beniers have been muscled around. They score! Empty net for Seattle. They pull Philip Grubauer, and they score! Jordan Eberle on the rush. The Dallas Stars bounce back, and this series is now tied.
Coach Dave Haxall said going into the series that Seattle had to stay away from giving the Stars a chance on the power play, and that's what happened last night.
We had something to do with the power plays that they had tonight. Each of the first 2 power plays, they generated a ton of momentum off of those. One mistakes out, the puck goes in the stands. That's a tough one. But we've got to take care of our discipline. The last 2 power plays. I mean, this is a team that came into the series at 37.5% and feeling pretty good. And if they don't capitalize, as you saw tonight, they're going to generate momentum out of that.
Haxall was asked if Seattle ever got to playing Kraken brand of hockey last night, and he simply said, nope.
We didn't get to our game long enough tonight at any point in time We had a couple of spurts. We were fine in the first period. The first couple of shifts were going to be a momentum push by them, but we settled things down, and we didn't generate a whole lot. But our first period was fine until, like I said, they jumped on the power play the last 4 minutes, so 2 minutes in power play time. And the next 2 minutes, they had all kinds of momentum coming off of that. But like I said, just plain and simple, we didn't get onto our game for long stretches of this hockey game tonight. So to answer your question, no.
Series now even at a game apiece as the teams shift to Seattle for Game 3 Sunday at 6:30. It's on TBS. Well, the Mariners completed a 3-game sweep of Oakland yesterday by a win of 5-3. Taylor Trammell hit his second home run since returning from injury, and Colton Wong came through with what proved to be the game-winning hit to help Seattle win its 4th straight.
It's 1-2 here. It's well struck deep to left center field, and it's gone. Taylor Trammell with a 2-run homer going opposite field, and the Mariners have a 2-1 lead. His second home run since being recalled. He missed most of spring training with a hamate bone issue, and he has come back with thunder. 2-1 Mariners. 2 out, bases loaded, score tied at 3. Up the middle, get through, it does. Taylor scores, JP right behind him. 2-run knock by Colton Wong, and the Mariners have taken a 5-3 lead. Couple of ribbies for the second baseman. He's got 5 on the season.
It's a good piece of hitting by Colton Wong, staying middle of the field, gets a breaking ball away from him, and takes it right back up the middle past a diving Allen at shortstop. Big 2-out knock right there.
Up the middle, JP. That will do it. The Mariners come in and sweep the A's. A team with 6 wins, you do what you're supposed to do. They sweep them, beat them in 3 straight games. The Mariners go 5-4 on the road trip and come home with a lot of smiles after this 5-3 victory.
George Kirby went 7 innings to pick up the win, which, according to manager Scott Service, is exactly what he asked of the second-year starter before yesterday's game.
Good series here, getting some W's that we desperately needed, and really driven by our pitching staff. George was great today. Maybe not as sharp with all of his secondary pitches, only having a couple strikeouts. I think he actually walked a hitter today, which is very abnormal, but great job by him. And the bullpen, which has been fantastic. I think it's 15, 16 innings without giving up a run. Those guys are getting wore down, so we needed George to go deep. He did exactly what we needed to do, and then hand it off to Tope and Paulie. So we are not giving away any free bases. We make them earn it, and with our defense, it usually ends up with an out. So those guys are in a good spot. They got a ton of confidence right now. I'm going to keep them right there. I'm going to keep them healthy.
Seattle returns home tonight to face the defending World Series champion Houston Astros in the first of 3 games at 7:10. It'll be broadcast on Root Sports Northwest. There are a lot of things going on this weekend vying for your entertainment dollar, one of which is a big race at Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. Track manager Jeremy Andrews says the 4 divisions coming to the track this weekend will bring quite a diverse group of race fans.
But we're kind of doing something unique. I don't think it's ever been done in the Northwest, where we're going to have a big drifting exhibition show, throwdown between some of the Pro-Am drifters from Evergreen Speedway coming over. And then we're going to join that with a late model racing. So you have really 2 different types of crowds of race fans there going to watch one show. And then we're adding in a Vintage Modified Nationals, which is the biggest Vintage Modified race ever happened in the history of the Northwest. And then on top of that, we're going to add in the Dixie Americans and Thunder Cars. So we have 4 things happening.
Andrews says the first ever race at WVSO took place on Apple Blossom Saturday back in 1970. So he thought, why not try it again this year?
The last couple of years, when on Apple Blossom Saturday, the main weekend of Saturday, I've had quite a few people call our number and write us, hey, you got anything going on? We have family in town for that. So we're trying out, see how it goes this year. I know there's some other things going on in town, but I think that our response so far, our pre-sales for tickets have been really well. We have a very unique show going on, so we're excited about it.
Gates open at 4:30, racing underway at 6. You want tickets? For more information, go to WVSO.com. Well, the Big 9 boys soccer season, regular season title, all comes down to tonight's games. There's currently a 3-way tie for first between Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Davis. Eastmont hosts Davis tonight, while Wenatchee plays at Eisenhower. If the Wildcats and Panthers both win, they'll share the regular season title, and Eastmont will host Wenatchee for the district championship next Thursday. Now, if Wenatchee and Davis win, they'll share the regular season crown round, and the Panthers will host the Pirates for the title game next Thursday, all dependent on what happens tonight. Regular season concludes for smaller schools tomorrow at 11 a.m. with Liberty Bell playing at Chelan while Cashmere is hosting Manson. There's so much more on the local sports scene. Be sure and head to our website at NCWLIFE.com for more on that. Have a safe and sane weekend. We'll see you for parades tonight and tomorrow morning right here on the NCW Life channel. Have a happy Friday.
I'm Dan Coos, host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Join me on Monday, May 8th, as we get your next work week going. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, a friendly reminder, on Mondays, we come to work here to do the morning show, but we don't work real hard. We'll wrap up the 104th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, the weather forecast, everything sports related over the weekend. We invite you to get your next week going with this program. We are live and we're local at 7 a.m. on Monday morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night, and we will see you at tomorrow's Apple Blossom Grand Parade.